Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you're watching this. My name is Leonardo. Today we'll be embarking on the Agile process research roadmap that I made for software engineering. Today we'll be going over most of the different areas and how the Agile process has just developed over time and different aspects throughout history to see how it has become the Agile process known as today. So for starters, we're going to start off with the first era we have on our timeline, our roadmap, which is the 1960s and the 1970s, which in this era was essentially the birth of structured programming methodologies. This period was essentially dominated by the waterfall model, as you can be seen on the left hand side of the screen with the waterfall model. This is a rigid sequence which often led to a lot of high failure rates, which is kind of like a foreshadowing for how it will need to be more flexible in the future. On the left side, you can see how the process goes: requirements, designs, and back and forth, coding, unit testing, system integration, and finally into the maintenance. But as you can see, it's very rigid, not much dynamics, flexibility. Sometimes things change. So as you can see, we can error in the future. So next, we're going to move on to the 1980s to 1990s. This time is when it's like a pivotal shift into more like iterative and incremental development. As you can see on the right-hand side, we have the RAD process, which unfolds. Um, this rapid application development emphasizes more on prototyping, which is like contained a little bit more in today's day and age, like prototyping, like getting feedback from users and addressing like the shortcomings of waterfall model, highlighting like essentially the adaptability that we have in software engineering. So let's zoom in on this picture now. As you can see, some of this prototyping is like data modeling, processing, and then prototype one, prototype two, and then actually application into the code. So that's just the RID. And then we're going to move on to the 1990s through 2001. As you can see, we're moving slower into smaller chunks of time periods. So this is essentially the pre-agile era, which is was like still the same thing of like the dissatisfaction of like the waterfall model in general. And this is just like people wanted more adaptability when it came to coding. So as you can see here, we have different essentially different genres and like spaces getting into like different processes, as you can see, like developing methodologies, embedded systems, and things of that nature, just slowly integrating different parts of like this pre-agile process and getting rid of the waterfall model, which is essentially going to lay out the groundwork for what the agile process even meant. And so as you can see here, now we move on to 2001 through 2005, which is essentially the birth of the agile process, which is called the Agile Manifesto, declaring honestly its intent and like how it's supposed to function. As you can examine the 12 principles of Agile, which continue to influence the current state of the software engineering. So we have different processes as that: customer satisfaction, changeability, time box, delivery, collaboration, recognition, face-to-face, progress measurement, sustainable development, excellence, simplicity, self-organization, reflection. As you can see, these are principles to go online with just proper software development, and then also just a really well managed workflow. So as you can see, we're going to move on to 2005 to 2010, which is where more specified processes of Agile uh, come about. This area is mostly categorized by Scrum and XP, which is essentially extreme programming, and then Scrum. These frameworks essentially transform the agile process and principle into like more actionable practices, emphasizing on like more iterative development, kind of like how we had before, and more team collaboration. As you can see here on the left side is a detailed graph showing like the Scrum process, essentially having your Scrum Master deliver it with different management teams, also like with the product owner, and like different things as product backlog that we learned in class, as well as the user stories. As you can see, we use this a lot in class and it's still used very much today. So now we're refining and move on to present day, where you can see a bunch of different diversity when it comes to the agile process and its methods. We have like 58% Scrum, things of that nature, a bunch of different types of hybrids and different collaborations between different methods. And this landscape is like further diversified the methodologies of just agile process, and like there's essentially just different variations, combinations, taking pieces from different methodologies. And but Scrum is the most dominated one because you can get a bunch of people working on different things at once, but also being as productive as possible. Now, down here below, we have our resources. These are all links using Canva. So in conclusion, the Agile process is not just a methodology, but a mindset essentially when it comes to software engineering, and it continues to evolve, responding to dynamic demands of software engineering. It has journeyed a long way from a very rigid process to a more flexible, which is what's needed in this very dynamic field. So thank you so much for your attention. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation of the Agile process. Thank you so much. I forgot it. Thank you.